Hello and welcome to Nikolai's genetics lessons, and today's problem is below a family tree is shown for a family in which a hereditary disease occurs. Since we are dealing with a rare hereditary disease, it is safe to assume that the individuals that are married into the family do not carry the disease-causing allele. The dashed line indicates that two cousins marry, both of them are healthy. They now expect their first child. What is the probability that this child will inherit the disease? So let's analyze what we see in this pedigree, and let's start from this couple. We see here affected male. So let's assume that this is Y chromosome linked genetic disorder, and we can expect that this male would get defective Y chromosome from his father and also would show defective phenotype, but we cannot explain with defective Y chromosome this affected phenotype of the daughter, because daughter doesn't get from father Y chromosome but get X chromosome. So we can exclude this variant right away. Let's assume that this is X-linked dominant genetic disorder, and genotype of this male would be defective X chromosome and normal Y chromosome. But once again, we can exclude this variant because this male is affected, and this male cannot get X chromosome from his father. He can get X chromosome from his mother side. So we can exclude X-linked dominant genetic disorder, but let's assume that this is X-linked recessive genetic disorder. So father has defective X chromosome and mother has one defective X chromosome, and one would be normal, so her phenotype would be normal. Is it possible that the daughter would be affected? Yes, if she is going to get a defective X chromosome from the father side and defective X chromosome from the mother side. Is it possible that this male would be affected? Those he can get normal Y chromosome from the father side, from mother side he can get defective X chromosome, and because males are hemizygous, this male can be affected. And now let's assume that this female, we were told that this is rare genetic disorder, would have two normal X chromosomes. So this male has one defective X chromosome, normal Y chromosome. Can they get this phenotype in their daughter? No, because in order to get this phenotype, this female have to get defective X chromosome from her mother side and defective X chromosome from the father side. And we see the same picture here. And once again, we have extra confirmation that this is not X-linked recessive genetic disorder, because those mother carry here two defective X chromosome, if we assume, but this female can get only one defective X chromosome from her mother side. The second X chromosome that is going to be defective, she have to get from the father side. And because father is hemizygous, has only one X chromosome, father phenotype have to be affected. But this is not what we see here. So now we can say this is not Y chromosome linked genetic disorder, this is not dominant X linked, this is not recessive X linked genetic disorder. And now let's assume that this is autosomal recessive genetic disorder. So this male have to have genotype small a, and this female have to have genotype capital A. So let me write down this time small a and capital A. In this case, we wouldn't be able to see such affected phenotypes in their progeny, because the progeny going to be heterozygous in this case and going to be phenotypically normal. So that means that we have to assume that this female have to be heterozygous, and in this case both of the children can be affected, and probability would be 50%. But so let's assume that genotypes of this children would be small a, just like their father, and small a here. And in order for their progeny also to be affected, we have to assume that these spouses also have to be heterozygous. And according to our problem, we have to assume that this is rare genetic disorder, so we have to assume that these spouses have to be genotypically and phenotypically normal, and there is no chance then that the children would be affected. So we have to reject this hypothesis, and the only explanation left that this is autosomal dominant genetic disorder. So genotype of this male would be capital A, small a, and genotype of this female would be normal, small a, and genotype of this male would be capital A, small a, and this female would be capital A, small a. They would marry spouses that is going to be phenotypically and genotypically normal. Once again, normal allele here is recessive allele, and defective allele is dominant. And according to what we see here, 50% of the progeny have to inherit defective allele from their father. So we expect that 50% of the progeny going to be affected. So we know that genotypes of the children would be as follows, and we know for sure genotypes of all the children, because if any of them would have even single defective allele, they would have also affected phenotype. So now you see, when two cousins are going to marry, both of them would have homozygous recessive genotype, and there is no way that they would have affected child. So as you see, the answer have to be the chances are 0%. One more time, if both parents are homozygous recessive, 100% of their progeny also going to be homozygous recessive, and homozygous recessive in our case means normal phenotype. So 100% of the progeny also going to be phenotypically normal for this genetic disorder, for this trait. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. Share this video with your classmates, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.